All right, we are live. Welcome to the first broadcast of 23 Real, 20 minutes of real talk with real producers in real estate, brought to you by Ohio Real Title and hosted by me, Rick Capretta. Today, I am joined by Inna Muravin, the founder of Distinct Home Group. I have known Inna for a few years now, and I know she's not one to brag, so I'm going to go ahead and brag on her behalf.
It sounds so much better when you do it. So I
know. Inna is ranked in the top 1% of producing agents nationwide. She is a Keller Williams International Gold and Platinum winner since 2015. And her brokerage, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, which I'm pretty sure she's ranked number 2. And what I'm told is the number 1 ranked brokerage in the Northeast Ohio MLS. So pretty good, I would say.
Thank you. I don't think I'm number 2, but I'm in the top 5 in our brokerage. So
all right, top 5. I'm calling it 2. You can call it whatever you want. You're number 2. You're number 2. You're number 1 or 2 in my books.
You know, Rick, that's all that matters. You know, just whatever. It's just numbers, right?
I know. Impressive, but even more impressive is what Inna and her team has been able to do here now that we're living in COVID-19 quarantine. So from March to April of this year, Inna and her group have closed and gone under contract on a total of 44 units to the tune of $9.6 million. And folks, that is a really, really good year for most agents. And that's what she's done kind of in the thick of all this chaos. So I want to introduce Inna. Inna.
I'm here.
Here she is. True to herself, she was running around from appointment to appointment. So happy that she was able to hold on to this time for us today as the very, very first guest. So exciting.
I am, first of all, beyond honored that you asked me to be on this show and be your first. So you know, first is anything beyond that is not first. So thank you.
You always remember your first.
You do. You remember your first. So I am your first, and you remember. So Rick, let's also make sure everybody knows you and I agreed we're going to be raw, we're going to be honest, and we're going to pretend we are sitting, hopefully, and dreaming in a bar, drinking a cocktail with a bunch of people around us, laughing and talking. So that's
not as raw as I would be in a bar, but yeah, pretty much so.
Not as raw. Okay, I'll control it. I'll pretend it. I got to take that out of my head now. No, we're not in a bar.
We're in a very nice, classy bar.
Classy bar. Okay.
Yeah. Right. All right. So let's start here with the first thing. So this whole COVID thing's insane. And, you know, I don't think anyone exactly knew what we were getting into when we got into this thing. I know you had thoughts about what it was going to be like and now kind of how it's played out. So why don't you kind of walk us through kind of where your head was and what you were expecting and how it's played out for you?
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that none of us obviously lived through. So it was March 16th, I believe, from my memory, was when we came to our office like normal. My team is there. We had our first, we had a hire that we've been interviewing for 5 months, and finally it was starting that day, like literally that was her day, March 16th.
Perfect.
She started and she's walking in and we're explaining to her like, oh, things are a little unique right now, but we'll explain to you. And next minute, we're getting an announcement that our office is closing and we're not allowed to be in the office anymore. And we have to figure out a way quickly to hopefully continue to work. So I believe like March 16th was like a real reality of it, of like, holy moly, like things are really urging. And we just hired a person who quit their job and has trusted us to come and work for us. Like, what do we do now? So that was like a huge, oh my goodness. So that was, like I said, that was a big one. So let me just explain. I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know if I should share this, but I will. So let me tell you what happened though.
Okay.
That moment and that day. So one of the things I do when I go into panic mode, I go, okay, we got to have a plan. So I'm sitting down with my team. My partner Gary's there. And we're trying to be calm and we're telling them we're going to get through it. And we're talking about how we're going to start working remotely. And I'm not a guru with technology. Gary is, thank God.
Thank God.
He's trying to figure all of that out. Is working through it. And as he's sitting there and I'm talking to everybody, I go, oh my goodness, I have a tequila here from like 2 years ago that I got a birthday gift. This will be perfect. If we're ever going to drink a tequila shot at work, this is it.
Right.
So everybody laughed. Nobody's drinking. So the girl that just started her first day, and that's how we knew she was going to be a perfect fit for us. She's sitting there. She's like, so I looked at this really really cool drink. And I see you have a vitamin C kind of a mix here.
Right.
And it means that with tequila, it's actually a very good boost of vitamins, and it's supposed to be cleansing you because it's tequila with alcohol.
All right.
Hannah, I love you. You and I are going to be best friends. So Hannah and I together are mixing vitamin C with a tequila shots, and we all are taking these shots together.
What was it, like the emergency, like those little packets?
An emergency. And I go, if we have to remember this day in any way, I want to remember by drinking this drink. So that's how it started, okay?
Yeah.
We drink this drink, we laughed. That's obviously a joke and a story because I'm a storyteller. I wanted you guys to know. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
After that, the reality of is, what do we do now, right? So we became so this is where the boring part comes in. We became very, very purposeful about what needs to be done and who we do it, who needs to do what. And this is when you know you have an amazing team and great partners in this craziness, because when things are good, I feel like, honeymoon is always good for everybody, right? When everybody's making money and happy and good, all's good. But this was like a real, true testament to see what was really happening. And what we saw, just our amazing team step up, and everybody just taking ownership of their role on the highest level, from administrative staff to our buyer's agent, to obviously Gary, my partner, on the IT and technology, and trying to really study everything impossible we can do to be able to work remote, to making sure that our team has, monitors and computers and everything remotely that we can set them up in their houses to be able to continue to work, to really, really, really being purposeful with our clients and reaching out to our clients. So for the first 2 weeks after March 16th, that's all I did. I was on the phone from morning to night, talking to our partners, talking to title people. I called you, Rick, right? I was like, Rick, what do we do with title? I called every lender that I've worked with closely to see what they're doing. I called every seller that we have currently at that time listed. We had tons of listings that were scheduled to come up. So before they called me, I made sure I reached out to them directly. And I guess I'm not going to go through all that, but you know what I'm saying? But really, be really the calming force versus the reactive panic mode. We did not panic. I think that tequila really helps. So if I can give anybody an advice, I shouldn't advise people to drink, but tequila really helped. The vitamin C helped, and we became purposeful. We reached out and we made sure that our clients were informed, and they knew that we got them and we'll help them out. I know it's a very long answer, so.
Yeah, that's good. And I was going to say, it's funny that you mentioned tequila, because my wife has been drinking plenty of tequila here at home during the quarantine. So I think that might be the universal, cure or preventable action for this COVID-19.
Yeah, but if you had the vitamin C mix thing, it makes it feel like you're doing it for health reasons. So
she's using real juice. She's juicing fruit. So I mean, it's the real deal, Holyfield there. So, yeah. Exactly.
So that was the way. So we just became very purposeful about it and made sure our clients knew that we got them and we will take care of them.
But still, so I've talked to a lot of agents. A lot have been very purposeful. You still killed it. And when I remember when we first spoke, you were doing a lot of, kind of like some Facebook walkthroughs. You hadn't really started going out now to some of the listings. Tell me about how that was for you.
As far as how to hold appointments?
Actually, once you physically started going back out to the houses and actually doing your typical appointments like you did, because you were telling me you couldn't do them there for a while. You're just kind of doing the best you could over the phone.
Just to be clear, we are still doing majority, I would say 95% of appointments till this moment is all virtual appointments. So my listing presentations are virtual. I don't go to people's houses. And not this, I had a busy weekend, but the weekend before, I just think it's a pretty phenomenal situation because I would have never, ever guessed that it could work so well. I held 11 virtual appointments in 2 days. 11 virtual appointments, and I didn't skip one step in one of my appointments. I went over every step. It lasted hour and a half to 2 hours. I had all my presentation, my visuals, everything ready to go. And I was one after another, and all 11 signed. That's
amazing.
Thank you.
But could you imagine if you had to drive to each one of those? There's no way you could have done that many in that amount of time. So how does this change business?
It is. So that's something, I was doing a class yesterday for Keller Williams, and part of it was listings and how to operate it. And I brought this example up as well. So whoever's listening, they'll hear the story again. But it was just, I'm a visionary. I believe in big and go through all that. But my other side of it is oh my goodness, people are so touchy and they want me there and they need me there. And
Right.
I was just beyond surprised that if you do have the right technology and you do know what you're talking about and you have the tools and everything to be able to still service your clients correctly, they don't need that. Like, in
Right.
fact, I think they actually appreciated me not sitting in their house during COVID with a mask for 3 hours in their home, So they were able to see my face like this. They were able to interact comfortably, and everybody appreciated it very much. What I have been doing afterwards, so just so to be clear, some still wanted to do virtual, so I would schedule another follow-up appointment where I would do like a walkthrough through a house through a phone where they would walk around.
Mhm.
Majority still wanted me to come to their house and just do a walkthrough just to give them some guidance on how to prep the hairs. So I have been doing the physical afterwards, but they're very different. They're only 30, 40 minutes in people's houses versus 2, 3, 4 hours like my normal presentation would be.
Gotcha. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what continues after this and whenever this ends, how much of those practices you could still hold on to. What are you using? Zoom or Facebook Live?
I've been using Zoom.
I'm sorry, not Facebook Live, FaceTime.
Yeah, so Zoom has been my to-go for all meetings. It's easy.
Okay.
It's easy to send to clients to sign up on. And then anybody that wants to do an actual walkthrough, it has been easier if they have an iPhone to do a FaceTime call.
Cool. Good. All right. Next thing I wanted to ask you, because I know we've discussed this a lot, is outside of this whole thing, what has been probably your biggest struggle as a business owner here in the real estate industry, and how have you been handling that?
Like, not just in the last few months, but in general, is that what you're asking?
In general, I'm hinting towards hiring.
Oh gosh. Are you talking about that every 2-3 months when I call you and cry, I need help.
It's hard. I get calls from every one of our teams and agents who are looking to add good admins, coordinators, buyers agents. It's a constant need in this industry.
So think about it. I mean, for most of us, there's definitely realtors out there that get into real estate because they want to run a business. There's definitely those, for sure. But majority, I had to stereotype the industry, do not get into this industry because they want to be business owners. They don't get into the industry because they think they're going to be hiring and firing people.
Right.
They get into this industry because they love people and they love to help people and they all of that. So
I love real estate.
I love real estate and love house hunters and loves, staging and whatever else we hear. And I'm one of them too. I mean, I have crazy stories about why I love it. But anyways, that's why we get into it. So once you become busy enough, you have no choice but to start becoming a business. And this is where, I think my biggest struggle is the hiring process and making sure we bring the right people. I do have very specific standards. I don't think they're necessarily high standards. They're very specific standards of what I expect from people, what I set expectations for our clients to expect out of me. So anybody that I bring to our team, I expect them to showcase the same type of behavior. So that's been my biggest struggle. How do I identify them? How do I, in such a short hiring process, make sure I bring the right people to our group? And I'm very protective of the people we have on our team already, who I love so much and want them to succeed and grow. I want to make sure they click as well. So I'm looking at so many factors. So no question about it, for me, the biggest struggle is the hiring process.
And I know this, pretty well too, because the first time I had met you was close to about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more now. And it was really a good year before you felt comfortable with us being your title partner. And you told me that from day one. You're like, you're going to earn it, because my expectations for all of my vendors and for everything is as such. And it's great. And I think we formed a really great partnership here now that's been going on 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
now, I don't know if you remember that I say I'm extremely loyal person to a fault.
Oh yeah.
I am very protective of my people and partners that I work with. I want to make sure they're taken care of. I want to make sure they're growing. I want to make sure, I really think of all of that. But you got to earn that from me before I give that. And so
it's been worth it.
Yeah, good. So for a while, like you said, I mean, Rick worked his butt off for a year. He did everything he could, and I kept saying, "Keep going. I love it. Thank you." And eventually, I was like, "All right, we're gonna work together."
Like a little clown running around trying to get your attention all the time. I've been also wondering, is Gary gonna bomb us? By the way, is he gonna pop in behind and just jump around and say hi?
I actually told him, I go, "Why don't you come? You can sit with me. We can talk." And he was not about that. Gary.
That's right.
Gary's behind the scene. He's the magician behind. It makes
That's all right. He's pulling all the strings back there.
I know I can't take all the credit. It's definitely a team effort, not only from him, but Ashley, who is in our office, handles so much, and then we have Hannah now, who is obviously strong enough to handle us because she made a tequila on her first day of work for us.
I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to meet her yet.
Well, I haven't met her much myself too much either. It's been
Yeah, right.
Except for that first day. So I hope I like her in person just as much.
I know I like Ashley, so that's good.
Yes, I love Ashley. She's definitely my heart. And then we have Cassie, who's obviously just a positive spirit, and we love her, and she's a great girl. So
awesome. Here's kind of a little bit of a random one. You've been in this business for what, about 4 years outside of being with Ryan Homes previously, right?
It'll be 6 years.
6 years with your real estate license? Wow.
Yeah, 2014, end of 2014.
Jeez. I was off. Anywho, what would you say has been your biggest surprise, either positive or negative, about the actual industry since you've been in it now for 6 years?
Okay. There's a lot. All right. So I would say that it's kind of probably sounds cheesy. Maybe I'll think of something better as we talk, but I think that it's truly when people say that there are ridiculous amount of opportunities in real estate. I think when you hear that, when you just get into the industry, you go, it's almost too big for you, but it really is
right.
True. There's enough business for a lot of people to be successful. That's one thing, which is great. There is opportunities outside of just traditional, what you think a realtor's job is, from property management to flipping property. I mean, there's just name it. There's so many cool things from, title companies or whatever else related to that. So I think that's been like a really cool and pleasant thing to know, that if I ever get bored of just being a realtor and running a team, there are other things that I can expand on. So far, I love what I do, so I'm good with that. But I I'd like that. So as far as the negative, okay, what do I think is
You don't have to get negative. It could be a positive or a negative.
Gotcha. Positive. I'm gonna stick with my positive.
Good idea. Stay positive. That's good.
Honestly, to be honest, I love this industry with all the things that I think anything that is not my favorite part of the industry. I think that's the beautiful thing, again, of running a business, is you bring people on board that could hopefully handle that part for you, so you're not exposed to it as much.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, because you were running ragged before you got your staff in place.
Yes, I still am. So, but it's because I'm crazy, I guess. I don't know.
That's good. Stay true to yourself. All right, so we're actually, our time is perfect. So I was going to ask you one final thing here is, what do you, of the people who are watching or listening to this, what is the one takeaway that you want them to walk away from listening to this today, either about the industry, about what you're doing, about this situation we're living in? What's one thing we could leave with everybody?
Are you okay if I give more than one?
You can give as many as you want.
Do you have time? I'm good on time. Okay. So I think as a whole, because I get this question a lot, because I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to create a pretty good amount of business of what do you do different and what makes you so special and all of that. And I think that's why I get really overwhelmed by that question, because I want to help and I want to answer, but I don't know what it is. There's nothing about top producers that's extraordinary or anything that makes us anything different. We're just loving what we do. We're passionate about it. And we just keep learning and falling down and growing and crying and calling and reaching out. We're just not giving up. I mean, that's the real, I don't know if that's a little too raw here, but it is. There's nothing that I'm doing that is anybody else out there can do. I work hard, I'm proactive, and I just keep learning from my mistakes as much as I possibly can and turn on and repeat. Okay, so that's as a big. So I get that question.
And people will not believe that. And there's so many different ways that so many great producers get so many different results, and people just don't believe that if you just keep working and working and working and falling and getting up, that it's going to work if you just do it constantly and relentlessly.
There's no magic pill. Like, everybody wants me to give them a magic pill when they call me, and I'm really raw and real with them that there is no magic pill. It's just It's being in this industry for the right reasons. But I think that's for anything, you want to be a doctor. If you're going to be a doctor because of money, you're never going to be a good doctor. If you go into the industry or whatever you're doing because you really genuinely love it and care about it and want to be the best at it, the money part will come in, the business will come in, the growth will come in, all the success will come in if you just go in the right reasons. So that's my big thing if I can leave off. As far as COVID, okay, so I think what we're underestimating really bad, and I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not trying to act like that by any means, is how it is affecting people psychologically a lot. And
Right.
I think we're underestimating it. And I check in with my team every week. We have a meeting on Wednesday, and our agenda is really like, how y'all doing? Are you okay being at home right now? Do you want to sing a song? What do you want to do right now? I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we're underestimating it. It's like, so for people who are really good and have good control of their mind and all of that, they're very fortunate. And I'm one of them. I really am. I'm blessed that it's not affecting me. I don't mind being at home. I don't mind not going out all the time. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But we're underestimating how many people are not like that. And we need to be very, very sensitive to that. Because I think when this is all over, it's going to take some time for them to really get back to
I agree.
being normal. So I think that's my biggest thing, is that because it's hard for me to relate to people who have that.
Yeah.
It's hard. I work really, really hard to be compassionate, even to our clients when I'm talking to them and they're panicking about something, and I'm going, really, who cares about it? I really, I don't say who cares, but I'm like, it's not a big deal, because it's not a big deal to me, but it is a big deal to them. And we just need to know that this COVID thing is serious. It's serious on physical level, it's serious on a mental level, and it's affecting people in so many different ways. And I just know it's going to be all okay. I know we will come back stronger, smarter, better in every way, but we will be okay. We'll get through it.
Hopefully it's just a blip on the radar. So that's it. That was great. We're pretty much right on the screws with time. I have up here all the different places that everyone could find the Distinct Home Group on social media, as well as on Zillow, to take a look at what listings you guys currently have and are working on. And again, just want to thank everybody for their time. I want to thank Inna Muravin again from Distinct Home Group. You were great. Thanks for being my first. I won't forget it.
Never.
And other than that, everyone, you have a great weekend. And again, thanks for listening.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.